Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on the video. And I just picked up this little boy from doggy daycare. Say hi, Khan. Figured I would let you guys say hi to him real quick. But yes, I have been running in the 360 degrees Miro Nude, and I'm gonna do kind of a review of it, maybe an early impressions video of it. I've done a shoe off and I've done a couple of short runs in it, and I'm not going to do what I would call a full comprehensive review of it because it's not a really high mileage shoe, and I don't want to use up a great amount of the shoe's lifespan for review purposes because I plan on using it for some shorter races in the spring. But I am going to take you back to the unboxing and to the specs and features, and I'm going to weigh it, and then we'll get into the shoe off, which will be a little bit different than I normally do for most of my shoe offs. I hope you guys enjoy this shorter review, and don't forget to like, subscribe, ding the bell for notifications so you can catch more running content, racing content, shoe review content, and more of this guy back here. Right, Con? Oh, he's tired. There he is. Check out what we got here. I cannot read Mandarin, but I can certainly read a map, and I can read that. Miro, and if you can't tell, it's transparent there. This is the 361 degrees Miro Nude. Wow. Goodness. It's light even with this stuffer in here. Let's take this guy out. This thing is featherweight, and it is totally, well, almost transparent. It's darn right translucent right there. But it is a super light, super racer. Let's check out the specs and features of this thing and then get it on foot. So there are not a lot of stats available for the 361 degrees Miro Nude. I can say it's extremely light. I can say that this COT Extreme midsole feels very much like an extremely lightweight, airy Piba base or something similar to Piba. There's a little window in there so you can see the carbon plate, which is referred to as a quick bone carbon plate. The rest of the literature there is in Mandarin, so I will not be able to read that, but if you want to pause that and put it through your translator, or if you are fluent in Mandarin, then be my guest. Let me know in the comments what it says. Look how translucent this upper is. Again, if I put my hand in there, you can almost see my fingerprints in there. Let's go ahead and weigh these guys. And the left shoe, 4.2 ounces. So let's put that into grams. 120 grams. That is ridiculous. I think that might even be lighter than the Reebok Float Ride, the Pro or whatever it was that came out a few years ago. 124 grams for the right shoe. Normally a 4-gram difference wouldn't be that much, but in this case that's like a 3% difference. So I mean that's pretty wild. So yeah, let's get these guys on foot. Oh wait, I didn't take the tags off. All right shoe without the tag. 120 grams, so exactly the same. So we don't have to worry about that extra 4 grams. Forgot to give the features of the inside of the shoe. There is no removable sock liner. This almost feels like, almost like a felt stroll board right here. I mean, it feels really soft, not really felty felt, just kind of, I don't know what I'm saying. The tongue is paper thin. There is no gusset. I wouldn't expect a gusset on a shoe this light. It's just gonna be however it lays across your feet, and I imagine I'll have to be very careful tying these ribbony laces too. So yeah, let's get it on my feet. The outsole is very thin. There's just a little patch back here in the rear foot, and I don't even know if that it's just going to offer some abrasion resistance. It's not going to offer any impact resistance. All of this white here is exposed midsole, and it's just really airy foam, so that will get burned away pretty quickly. more of that really thin abrasion resistant rubber up here. It's a very, very thin midsole. And this clear part up here is still rubber. If I zoom in, you can tell that it's the same as this dark part. They just made it white here, so it looks like it's exposed, but it's not. And we've got these little grooves here that probably add a little bit of traction. They might even save a gram or two of weight, or they could be aesthetic. But yeah, there's not much outsole to speak of, especially if you look at it from the profile there. Not a shoe that I think is meant to last, but a shoe that is meant to go fast. Okay, I've got these on my feet, and you know, they actually fit pretty true to size. You know, I've got a thumb's width worth of room here, maybe slightly less, but for a racing flat, and there is no doubt that this is nothing but a racing shoe, then it actually fits pretty good. The lockdown is not bad considering this is just a filmy upper here. There's no movement on my heel at all. I mean, these fit. I'm very surprised. I can definitely tell the rocker on the heel and on the forefoot bouncing up and down. Man, these are just ready to run fast. Maybe not run far, but certainly run fast. Definitely not stable either. All right, we're gonna do a little shoe off here with the 361 degrees Miro Nude. And I've only got 4 other shoes against which I'm going to test it, because this is kind of a unique super shoe with as light as it is. It's a 120 gram shoe. So I've got the Reebok Float Ride Run Fast Pro, which is the only one of these that's reasonably close to the Miro Nude as far as weight. This is another 4-ounce racer, and using a PIBA foam, but without a plate. Then I have the Asics Metaspeed Edge Paris, which, as far as contemporary super shoes with PIBA midsoles and plates go, is as close as I can get to the weight of this shoe. It's, you know, 6.3 ounces, or in the 170 something grams. Then I have a blast from the past, the Adidas Sub 2, which came out around the same time as the original Vaporfly 4%. And again, it's down there in weight, something in the 5-ounce range. And this midsole material no longer exists. This is Boost Light. And a full Continental rubber outsole. And then I have another blast from the past, the New Balance Fuel Cell 5280, which is designed for road mile races, but I've taken it up to 5K before. It is a plated super shoe, but it's using the old school fuel cell foam, which is a supercritical TPU, I believe, with the carbon plate there. But it's got that nice Dyno Ride outsole. All right. I am at Bailey Middle School track, which is not far from my house right now. Yes, I am going to use a track for this, but this track is not a rubberized track. It is an asphalt track, so it will emulate a road surface, since these are road racing shoes that I'm using. And I'm not going to talk while running like I usually do in my shoe-offs, because I'm going to be at close to VO2 max pace trying to test these against each other, because that's, you know, what I think these are going to be the best for. So I won't talk during the run. I will talk afterwards and maybe get some footage at least while I'm running. So it'll be slightly different than most of my shoe-offs. So I'm doing a little warm-up in just the Miro Nude on both feet right now, just because I don't want to try and drop right into 400-meter repeats with 2 different shoes on my feet after work with tired legs and everything. I have run in these shoes a couple of times just for very short runs, and they do want to go fast, but I will say they're probably going to work best for fresh legs. So without even going into the shoe talk, I'll say these are probably going to be better for shorter distances, because I wouldn't want to have tired legs at the end of a marathon while running in these. But they are very bouncy, very propulsive, for a 120 gram shoe. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do the shoe talk right here. This will be my thoughts directly from the Shoe-Off because I just finished that workout. So what I did is I did a mile easy in just the Miro Nude, and it was a little bit fast easy, threw in a few strides as well. And then I did 4x400 with each 400 rep being in a different one of these shoes on one foot with the Miro Nude on the other. So first up, we had the Miro Nude. Woo! The Miro Nude versus the Reebok Float Ride Run Fast Pro. Man, it's a big name for a small shoe. Again, pretty much equal weights. This P-back midsole, I remember, I've had like 4 pairs of this shoe. When I first got it, I felt it was extremely lively for such a lightweight shoe and such a small midsole. And this, outsole, if you can call it, those little beads that are in there provided good grip. But next to this, it felt pretty flat. I had to really look for it to tell, any of the liveliness from that midsole. And it could be that this shoe I've had in a while and it's been in the closet for a while. Still a good shoe, still good for workouts, short workouts, stuff like that, but more when I want to work on leg strength, not necessarily just performance in a race or something like that. So really there's no contest. This is a far superior shoe if I'm going to take it out for a race. And then I had the Asics Metaspeed Edge Paris. And of all the shoes I tested against it, this was the most similar to this, even though the Metaspeed Edge Paris is 1.5 times the weight of the Miro Nude. It is 150% of the weight. If we're gonna use imperial units, 6.3 ounces, 4.2 ounces. That means this times 1.5, you'd get this. However, it didn't feel a whole lot heavier on foot going around the track than this one. Obviously it felt heavier, you were looking for that, but it also felt a lot more stable and it felt just as propulsive. I think on the toe off, the Metaspeed Edge Paris was even more propulsive, probably because it's more rigid. That extra structure, I don't want to say extra weight because this is among the lightest weight of super shoes, but even though this has a carbon plate, it's pretty flexible. And if you're really digging into that toe off, it will give a little, whereas this will kind of give you that rigid bounce off the plate. I just took a shoelace in the mouth right there. Okay, so again, these two were the most similar. I would really be discussing these two versus each other for a 5K or a 10K. Maybe a 5K in this, 10K in this, or other way around. I don't know. It depends on what I'm looking for. If there were more turns on course, I'd probably go for the Edge Paris. And then I had the Adidas Adizero Sub 2, which was pretty much unheralded shortly after it came out. Wilson Kipsang ran a couple of marathons in this shoe, but it could not compete with the new technology of the Vaporfly 4% when it came out in 2017. And yeah, flat and dead. Don't get me wrong. I liked this shoe a lot. I raced some 10Ks and 10 milers in it to good effect. I won a 10K, went in 37 mid on a 10K in this, and I did a 10 miler that was just over an hour on a hilly course in this shoe. I liked it, but it just, in the age of super shoes with super foams and carbon plates, I just don't think there's a place for this shoe anymore. So the Miro Nude would definitely make this one not need to exist. And then the New Balance Fuel Cell 5280, which was very niche. It was meant for a road mile. Like I said, I have taken it up to 5K. My 5K PR is still in this shoe, and it's a PR by 1 or 2 seconds. But next to the Miro Nude, it felt pretty harsh. I was really feeling the plate, the carbon plate in this. This fuel cell foam, this original formula of fuel cell foam with the nitrogen infused TPU is really soft and bouncy. And I liked it in the RC Elite, the original RC Elite. But in this small, lightweight package, I can really feel that plate. I love the Dyno Ride outsole. I wish more shoes had that. I wish New Balance could have continued that. But even in just one 400 meter rep, I was very much enjoying the foot that had this shoe on it more than the foot that had this shoe on it. So, long story short, the Miro Nude outperforms all of the other super lightweight shoes that I have in my closet. But I don't know if it's gonna outperform the Asics Metaspeed Edge Paris for what I wanna use it for. When I do some 5K and 10K training in the spring, both of these are gonna see a lot of work. Before you even ask about the Adidas Pro Evo 1, the $500 one, I'm not planning on getting that. And my local retailer, Charlotte Running Company, they're even carrying it in store. How many retailers carry it in store, brick and mortar? I don't think I'm gonna spend $500 on a single marathon shoe, even though it's gonna have a similar weight to this. If you wanna see a good comparison of this shoe and that shoe, go over to the Doctors of Running, where Matt does a side-by-side comparison of them. And I think you might find what he has to say similar to what I have to say about this shoe. So we'll call that my shoe off and shoe talk all at once, and I'm gonna keep this video short. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ding the bell for notifications, and I will see you on the next run.